क्लोज योर आईज, सीधे होकर बैठिए, आंख बंद कर दीजिए, 3 बार ओंकार। श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री गुरवे नमः। I bow to gods. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. Shya Ramamaya Sabajuga Jani, Karahu Pranam, Jori Jugapani. When I came to my Gurudev, I told you the other day that from the first meeting, I fell in love with him, but not as a guru, but some special bond of attraction. I didn't appreciate him so much, but fell in love. Do you know what I did not appreciate? A sadhu, golden frame glasses, shampooed hair, trimmed, well-groomed, beard and mustache, and polished shirt and clothes. My idea of a sadhu and Gurudev did not tell. This I could not accept easily. Why so? But still then there was a bond of attraction. When I saw him, do you know, many sadhus, they don't want to touch their feet. And here some people say, don't touch, don't touch. So I also was skeptical. If you will not allow to touch the feet, why should I touch? Why should I try? So I sit in a distance in a corner of that room where he was staying. Then there was a little satsang. After satsang, Gurudev told, those who are not initiated can leave the place. Now there will be meditation only for the initiates. So few people were there, they left, and I was also standing up. He said, sit down. Others left. He allowed me to sit down. I was not initiated. So I sat down. Then he started guiding meditation. I didn't know all these techniques. I was sitting quietly. I liked his voice. So he was telling, concentrate, do this, do that. I didn't practice anything, sat quietly. Then I saw people are going and touching his feet. So I went closer. When I bowed down to him at his feet, he wanted to catch my. I was lucky. Do you know why? My hair was so short, he could not catch. Do you know, once the masters catch the head, real trouble begins. Do you know this? The real trouble. Unfortunately, we do not allow to be caught. Our ego, our prejudice, our misunderstanding, and so on. However, then there was a little dialogue. He asked me, what are you studying and all these? How are you studying? Come again. I was happy that he's telling come again. The next day I went there. I sat down in the meditation class, satsang, and then he left. This is how our physical encounter began. I came to Kadar Ashram, not initiated, staying there, lived in the ashram. However, human destiny, many times it is unknown to us. It is known to the masters. He knew. And he was also indirectly playing. So at last, I approached him that I want to be initiated by you. His teachings were very typical. It was not like giving big lectures and this. Mostly it was short talk. But whenever he spoke from his own sadhana, at the same time from the scriptures. Whenever he quoted scriptures, he quoted exact reference. वो जो बोलते थे, वो शास्त्रों का वचन कहाँ कल किसी ने प्रश्न किया कि आचार्य और गुरु में क्या फर्क है? किसने प्रश्न किया? मैं बोला तो इंतजार करो, कल हम मंदिर जाने के समय मेरा दिमाग में तो वही आचार्य गुरु घूमता है अभी। तो शुद्धानंद जी को बोला है, छांदोग्य उपनिषद में एक मंत्र है, आचार्यवान पुरुष वेद। अर्थ क्या है? छांदोग्य उपनिषद में जहां यह वर्णन होता है, वहां कोई व्यक्ति पथिक traveler on his journey was searching for a village, and somebody told, you go in this direction and there is the village. So one has to walk. Describing this story, that walk in this way, you will find the village. Then it is said, Acharyavan Purusha Veda. What does it mean? इस मंत्र में 3 शब्द है, आचार्यवान पुरुषः वेद। और आचार्यवान पुरुष शब्द का विशेषण बन जाता है, आचार्यवान। आचार्यवान शब्द बड़े सुंदर शब्द है। आचार्यवान क्या है? व्हाट इज दिस वर्ड आचार्यवान? आचार्य तो हम जानते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत जो हमको शिक्षा देते हैं वह आचार्य है। आचार्यवान कौन है? तो उसका व्याख्यान करते हुए संत लोग महापुरुष बोलते हैं, जिसका धन होता है वो धनवान। One who has wealth is called as धनवान. One who has knowledge, ज्ञानवान, the suffix batut matut. One who possesses, one who has rupa, Rupavan, one who has Bala, strength, Balavan, one who has Acharya, Acharyavan. देखो उसमें क्या होता है, पहले मेरा कोई आचार्य है क्या? Do I have anybody who is my acharya? Simple meaning is teacher. We say, I am initiated into path of Kriya Yoga, I have a teacher. You say, one which rich is always rich. One who has knowledge has always that knowledge. Sri Gurudev said, once you are a doctor, you are always a doctor. Am I clear? If you have strength, you have always the strength. If you have beauty, you have always the beauty. If you have teacher, you should have always the teacher. What does it mean? So, if I have a teacher, I have always a teacher. Always a teacher means the teaching is always with me. Teacher means the teaching. I am always living with the teaching. Then a person who has a teacher is realized. One gets realization if one has a teacher. The simple translation. कोई आचार्य प्राप्त हो तो वो भगवत प्राप्त हो सकते हैं अगर चलना पड़े. You have to walk. He will show the way, but you have to walk. When I came and stayed with Sri Gurudev whenever it was possible, in the beginning I was just listening to him. Then I started to write down for my own use, personal use. Why? Because human memory is very short. How much do we remember? How much the teacher teaches? How much we retain? The rain is falling. How much rain a container can hold? Sri Gurudev said, if the pot is upside down, no rain. If the pot has leakages, Gurudev's example, Gurudev is telling if you carry milk in a pot with leakage, you will reach home but without milk. Example of Sri Gurudev. घर को दूध लेना है तो जो पात्र में लेते हो उसमें छेद है, तो हमारे जीवन ऐसा बन जाता है. हम कितने अभ्यास करते हैं. तो मैं लिखता था कभी कभी जो लिखा बाद में किसी ने बोला कि किसको पता चला कि इतना 10 volumes diaries I had, notebooks. So somebody said, why can't you write down those teachings of Gurudev? These are the writings of Gurudev's teachings which I wrote down. Last 5 years, I typed those. Initially, I wrote down in my own handwriting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today, we released the last volume. Out of the 5 volumes, this was the last volume. And when I was working on this last volume, I really became a little sad. Because when I was reading, all the memory coming back, because it was written which date, where, what was happening, what he taught. So it is finished. Then the thought came to me that I had some more writings of Gurudev. I had. Then I searched. Then I found it. I will show you, I have brought it. These are the 2 volumes I have with my own handwriting in Odia and English. And do you know how many pages? Only 800 pages in 2 volumes, my own handwritings. I was really happy. Do you know what happens? The Guru lives in the disciple. If the disciple allows him to, if the disciple allows the Guru to live in, then the Guru will live. The teacher lives, or the Guru lives with his teachings. The Guru lives with his teachings, and teachings lives in the life of the seeker, the disciple. We all are sitting here. I'm just asking to what extent we are really practicing. I wanted to show you another thing. I was writing, the Swamiji told, go to the room and find out. So to find also it is not easy, because the dormitory where I stay, it is a little complicated. I thought if you will be like Hanuman, going for Vishalyakarani and bringing out the mountain, but he found it. This is a small Bengali book. Can anybody tell which year it was printed? 1958. This is a small Bengali book printed in 1958. And this book, Sri Gurudev gave me in Europe. So, this was Gurudev's personal book. I wanted to show you Stotramala, Jogada Satsange, Git Sangitavali. कुछ स्तोत्र है, कुछ बंगाली संगीत है. Once Gurudev told, Baba, there is a Gita book. You should read it. So he told. Then he said, I have given to somebody to read. He will not return. Another day he said, difficult. He's telling. Why should I think? Another day he called me. Take this book, I have got it. But read very privately. Nobody should see this. So I took it. And it was interesting. It was in Bengali. The book had no beginning, no end. It is Bhagavad Gita, only 15 chapters. And the title is Adhyatma Gita. I don't know, Sudhananji might know because he had lots of collection on the Gita. So it has no beginning, no end, no author, nothing. And the book, so old, it is like, paper. Just breaking. Very carefully I was reading. Then I thought it's interesting, I have to return the book. In 3-4 days, I finished the book. And I wanted to return. Gurudev said, keep it. I will tell something, manipulate. I said, Baba, I have read it and I have translated it. He looked at me, what? You took 3 days ago. When did you find time to translate? You translated it? All right, then he took the book. That was in a diary. A disciple, another disciple, long-time disciple of Gurudev, he was also close to me, and he took that diary to read. I forgot. A few months ago, I remembered about that diary. I told somebody, because I'm not talking telephone, no communication. I told a Swamiji, can you please contact him? Does he remember that diary? And can he find it out? If he finds out, then get it. She kept it and he returned. So I gave this diary, because it is my handwriting. I said, do it DTP. It is in Odia. This is how the Gurudevs play. Now come back. Acharyavan Purusha Veda. I gave the example of Acharyavan. मैंने बोला जैसे धनवान हूँ, ज्ञानवान हूँ, रूपवान हूँ, बलवान हूँ, तो मैं आचार्यवान हूँ. कहीं कहीं बोलते ना, गर्व से कहो मैं हिंदू हूँ, कुछ बोलते हैं. तो मैं आचार्यवान हूँ, लॉकेट लगाने से नहीं होता है, तस्वीर रखने से नहीं होता है. I was young. I was teaching. I was my first place of work. I am in the university examination. A disciple's son who knew that I am there, and he was in the examination, he intentionally kept his locket out and keeping it in the front as if I can see that he is Gurudev's disciple, to show. Maybe wanted some privilege. I gave a slap. Not strong slap, but loving slap. So, in spirituality, there is no privilege. It is a life of hard work. It is a life of hard work. आजकल के जमाने में सब कुछ लोग चाहते हैं जल्दी जल्दी हो जाए और आराम से हो जाए. वो नहीं होने वाला है. देखो, साधन जगत में in Raghuvansha, there is a verse, the exact verse I don't remember, but the one line is Ajñam Gurunam Shabicharaniya. अर्थ क्या है? No discussion on the teaching, just follow. That's all. Not to allow your own head too much. Just, he said, do this, do this. And Kriya Yoga is so simple. It is not too complicated. Every breath you love. So, this morning we sat for meditation. By God's grace, we spent some time in Guru Mandir. Your teacher told, today is a special day. Let us watch and observe the breath longer and longer. Talk as minimum as possible. This much. It was 7:20 in the morning, your teacher told. Now it is, I'll not tell 4:20. It is 4:22, 24, 25. Today I got this watch, do you know why? This clock. Yesterday I got confused. In the question and answer, I am talking and talking. Because that clock was not clearly visible to me. I thought, so, however, 7 o'clock, now over 9 hours have passed. Okay. Within these 9 hours, for example, we sat together within these 9 hours. Little before 9 till little after 1:30. So 4.5 hours, more than 4.5 hours we sat together. Ask yourself, how much did you practice? This shows you are Acharyavan or not. Am I clear? Acharyavan means, as I am with knowledge, all the time with knowledge. If I am a doctor, all the time I am a doctor. In the same way, if I am Acharyavan, all the time I am Acharyavan, all the time. All the time with the teacher, all the time with the teaching. It is not the physical companion. It is to be with teaching day and night. So think. Now, come back to our discussion we did yesterday. When Lord Krishna is telling Uddhava in Uddhava Gita or Ekadasha Skanda that serve, we told 8, serve. And in that sloka or mantra, whatever you say, the Lord told serve the 8. Serve the fire, serve the sun, serve the Acharya, serve the cattle, serve the Brahmins, and so on. And he told Acharya and Guru. That's why a person asked, which Acharya, which Guru, is there any difference? Practical, there is no difference. But there is difference. Technically, there is difference. In the ancient Gurukula, Acharya, Adhyapaka, Upadhyaya, Guru. Kulapati. Kulapati. Acharya Kula. In the Upanishad, you will find all these. In different Upanishads, you will find all these words. You will find Acharya, you will find Upadhyaya, you will find Adhyapaka, you will find Kulapati, you will find Guru. In the next verse, Lord Krishna is teaching. The Lord is teaching. He is teaching about Acharya and Guru in the same. He is telling they are not different. But what is the technical difference? Acharya is the beginning, Guru is the end. Yesterday we discussed about the root verb char. कल हम विचार किए ना चर. And चर शब्द से आचार, आचार शब्द से आचार्य. आचार्य शब्द का परिभाषा महर्षि मनु भगवान मनुस्मृति में बोलते हैं. He is telling which Acharya? He is telling Upanita tu yah Shishyan. He initiates the students. Upanita means getting initiated. Then he teaches the Vedas, the continuation of the verse. He is called as the Acharya. So in the Gurukulam, the Acharyas are the primary teachers in the Gurukulam. And the ultimate is Kulapati or Guru, the highest. Acharyas, this word again, Acharyas, Manu, and in Purana, I think in Brahmanda Purana, in Manusmriti as well as in Brahmanda Purana, you will find this verse. Achinoti cha sastrani. Manusmriti mein hai Achinoti cha sastrartha. Achinoti cha sastrani. Acharya sthapaityapi Swayam acharate yasmat. Acharya Manu is telling Swayam acharate yastu so acharya iti smrutava. This is Manu's. What does it mean? The acharya or teacher is perfect in conduct, in practice. May not be perfect in realization, but perfect in conduct, manner, and practice. Soyam acharate. Acharya sthapayapi. Acharya sthapayati api. Gurudev said. Gurudev said, he always encouraged practice, practice, practice. And he told, do you know, once you have joined a school, do you want to remain in that primary school whole life? So Gurudev said, you should get promotion. You should reach the final degree. Why should you remain in the same class all the time? Some people thought, maybe to learn higher techniques. This was not the real meaning. It is not the technique. It is the growth. It is the growth, progress. Sri Lahiri Mahasaya said, যত দোষ সব উচ্চতর ক্রিয়াবানদের মধ্যে, যত গন্ডগোল, all troubles, all problems with the people practicing higher kriyas. Do you know why? Oh, I am senior, I am doing this. You can. So, this is the problem. Gurudev told everybody, do you know, there was a disciple. He was staying in ashram for some time. And Gurudev wrote him, meditate nicely and be a world teacher. He took it very literally. Meditate nicely, that part he did not take. Gurudev has told me, I will be a world teacher. That part he believed. Anybody who went to Gurudev and bowed down, and do you know what Gurudev is? Gurudev used to say, it is like during last years especially, God, Supreme Almighty Lord, God is within you. I bow to you unlimited times. Meditate nicely, be a world teacher, be realized and become a world teacher. So like this, he was telling everybody. When I told this, Gurudev told to be a world teacher to everybody. He became so upset. See what? Because he was thinking that he is very special. My dear ones, in spirituality, ego, be very careful. Be very careful how ego can really pull us down. Now come to the next verse. Ekadasha Skandha, the 11th book, 17th chapter, 27th verse. Acharya mam vijaniyat na apamanyeta karhichit na martya buddhi asuyeta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. This is a very, very beautiful verse. This verse is very, the words of the Lord. It is very simple, but he is telling, I am Acharya. Know myself as Acharya. Acharya mam vijaniyat. One meaning is, I am the teacher. Who is the teacher? God is the teacher. And it is true. It is true, God is the teacher. Kaun Acharya hai? Main hu. In the other way, it can also be understood, consider the teacher as me. Again, this is again a mistake. If a teacher will think that consider me as consider me as God, here is the ego of the teacher. Be very careful. Ego can come to anybody. You just think. People having realization can also have downfall. There are different types of mukti, different levels of mukti, freedom, liberation, realization. Sarupya, Salokya. It is that these are two different types of mukti. You will have the same appearance of the Lord. You will be in the same abode of the Lord, in the path of devotion. Mr. Jaya and Mr. Vijaya. Jaya and Vijaya, they had this, they were with the Lord. If you go to Lord Jagannath's temple, in the temple, in the inner part of this door, Jaya and Vijaya both are standing. And mostly you cannot clearly see the pictures, the statues so clear on the wall because of the nice seva of the priests. They take the sandalwood paste and throw it like on them because you have to keep. And mostly it is covered with the sandalwood paste. Jaya Vijaya with 4 hands, Shankha Chakra Gadadhari, Jaya Vijaya, they had downfall. They had downfall from the abode of the Lord, the company of the Lord. For example, we live in the ashram of the Guru. We can have downfall. Anybody can have downfall. Be very careful. Each one should be careful. Do you know what happened to Jaya Vijaya? Mr. Jaya and Vijaya had downfall for not only demotion. Downfall means demotion, no promotion. Demotion, Satya Yuga demotion, Treta Yuga demotion, Dwapara Yuga demotion. How many millions of years? And being in demotion, what did they become? वो क्या बने? असुर बने. देवलोक से वैकुंठ लोक से नीचे गिरे और नीचे गिरकर क्या बने? They became demons, asuras. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupala, Dantavakra. Jai Vijay. Acharya Mam Vijaniyat. A teacher should think that I am not the teacher. God is the teacher. I am not the teacher. The student might think, might have respect, but don't have blindness. Be very clear and don't again and again to remind you, follow the teachings, not follow the teacher. Follow the teachings, practice it. Don't follow the teacher. And some follow. Some follow means, do you know, my misery. My misery. People staring, even, oh God. However, Acharya Mam Vijaniyat na avamanyeta karhichit. Never disrespect or never become disobedient. Sri Gurudev at the age of 67, he went to West. Ordinarily, we retire. We plan to retire at which age? And he went to work. You cannot imagine how hard he worked. For example, I went West. I followed Gurudev. When I followed Gurudev, Gurudev has kept a place to stay. He himself is there. And he is looking after my own food, my food. So I had nothing to worry. But when Gurudev went, people did not know how to treat a guru. They didn't know. Many of them didn't know how to cook for him. You cannot imagine, from the age of 67, how much hard sadhana I did. It is another truth. But even after that, from the age of 67 onwards, how much he has worked. Unbelievable. So, this is the beautiful lineage we have. And we have such beautiful Gurudev. Do not now I am thinking what I should write from these two volumes. He's always in my head. Do you know? Today's Guru Purnima, I am thinking of him. I am thinking of his life, his lifestyle, his teachings, and his sacrifice. Just to think, if any of you would think to have an ashram like this, to find a piece of land like this is a dream. It is a dream, and now it is so expensive you cannot imagine. Who kept this place? You just think. And he had his own vision. He had his own vision for all of us. And he had done it, nothing we. He has done everything for us. But we, the little fellows, we, including myself, out of ego, I am doing, I will not do. If we follow a lineage and if we look how hard life they lived, each one, do you know, my humble request to you, you all should read the biographies of all the masters in the lineage. Forget about reading any other books. Life of Sri Lahiri Mahasaya, life of Sri Yukteswarji, we don't have so much of Sri Babaji, little stories, whatever. Life of Sanyal Mahasaya, life of Satyanandji, life of Yoganandji is there in autobiography of Yogi. And you read again and again. You see how they really lived. And then you read their teachings. Direct teachings, you see, why I wanted to show these 5 volumes. His direct words are there. His direct instructions. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Don't read any other books at present. Just read this. No need of, do not. We are on this path. We have to follow. We have to practice. And it reinforces our, strength, how to practice, how more to go into deep into practice. Acharya, Sri Gurudev had many acharyas, the teachers, and they also got demotions. They also got demotion. Gurudev told he's no more authorized to initiate. Yes or no? Being a teacher, again demotion, we should be very careful. Being a disciple, it will have demotion. Promotion, demotion. Acharya mam vijaniyat न अवमन्येत परिचित न मर्त्य बुद्धि असूयेत. Here one thing I will tell you. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, at the end of each chapter in the Samputa Vakya, the conclusive statement, Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade, it is written as the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. But in every chapters, you will not find Sri Krishna Vacha. What you will find? Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Why not Sri Krishna Vacha? Just think. Why not Sri Krishna Vacha, Sri Bhagavan Vacha? Why? Because when we think of Krishna, we think many ways. Oh, Krishna is blowing flute, this, makhan chor, butter thief. But here, when it's teaching, he's not teaching us Krishna. He's not teaching us Krishna. He's teaching us. Do you know, there is one interesting incident. The Mahabharata battle was over. The Pandavas were sitting. Draupadi, Kunti, others were sitting. Draupadi asked Lord Krishna. He said, "Oh Krishna, I have heard from my beloved Arjuna that in the battlefield he was really demoralized, he was sad, and you taught beautiful things. Can you tell us something?" He said, "I don't remember." Who is telling? At that moment, what came from my mouth, it cannot come now. Do you know why? This is a very interesting thing. In originality, there is no duplicity. Duplicity means double. Duplicity means what? When there is two copies, original, duplicate. So there is no copy. So there is originality. He said, "I don't remember." Because that was a different situation, different condition. He was in a different condition, I was in a different state. What I did, if you tell, I can tell something, but not exactly. And in the Mahabharata, there is another Gita. Its name is Anugita. Its name is Anugita. The synopsis of the Bhagavad Gita, or the Bhagavad Gita retold, but it is not the Bhagavad Gita. Am I clear? So, Lord Sri Krishna at that time is no more Sri Bhagavan. He is now again playful Krishna. He is telling, I don't remember what I told. And Arjuna is telling also, I don't remember what he. I remember something he told, but not exactly, I cannot reproduce. Na martya buddhi. We have devotion. We follow the path of devotion. We love our Guru, the teacher. My Gurudev really loved. Do you know what he loved? He did not love money. Gurudev told me one day, if somebody will give me, he told in Indian language, 1 crore rupees today, he was telling 40 years ago, I can spend it now. 40 years ago, 1 crore means it will be now how many crores? 20 crores, 30 crores, 40 crores it will be now, or 50 crores it will be. If one gives 50 crores today, I can spend it just now. I could not think at that time, how can he spend? How can he spend so much of money in a day? And it's so, and he could have done. He was not after money. He was not after, comfort. He was not after comfort. You just think he was going abroad. He had also quite a few well-to disciples, very poor and also very rich. But he did not have in ashram any car. He traveled by bus, public transport, by train, rickshaw, and even he used bullock carts when he went to Visindipur ashram. By bullock carts. So I have the memory of sitting with him in rickshaw, in Puri, in bus, even Puri to Cuttack by train, Puri to Cuttack, Calcutta, Delhi, long distance was common. Puri to Cuttack by train. This is how he lived. Do you know? Now, priests in Jagannath temple, they love us. When Sri Gurudev went abroad 50 years ago and came back, do you know what people in Puri were telling? Mlitsva Guru Galare. Gurudev was considered as Mlitsva Guru, the Guru of the untouchables. They were shouting. Gurudev was going, they were shouting like this. And he was designated or given the title as Mlitsva Guru. He smiled. This is how Gurudev lived. Gurudev's life is a life of real seva. Real, very silent way. Nobody knew how he served them or helped them. This is how he lived. And now, how we are living? When I think of the present ashram life, somebody was telling Sudhananji that we should have AC in this meditation hall. It is getting too hot. My Gurudev lived in the room, the fan was moving like this. Like this, not like this. Somebody said, Baba, I want to change it. He said, no, my old friend, Sudarshan Chakra, my old friend, it will stay there. One day, Gurudev and we three, myself, I was not in these clothes, another Swamiji, we three were sleeping in one room in a disciple's home. The room was quite big. Gurudev was on the bed, and I was on the floor. There are two fans like this. The room was big. So Gurudev's bed, that fan was moving again, although it can move faster, but it was given like this. And it was almost this time, end of June. And the other one is sleeping and the fan is moving like this. So Gurudev, it was afternoon power nap. So Gurudev is lying down. I am pretending to lie down because in Gurudev's room to sleep, and other one was sleeping nicely. So I am not sleeping. I don't want to sit to meditate because Gurudev would not like it. Rest. So what I did, holding a book, and a little light was coming through the window, and the light was coming towards. So I was reading, like lying down. I was looking at the book. So Gurudev got up and he first looked at me. So I got up. He took the book and he saw. He was not talking. Then he called me, and we both walked to. And the other person has taken out the t-shirt because it is hot, really. Now it is not so hot now, but that was really hot. So, and the fan was moving, and then Gurudev whispered near me, if one will give me 100,000 rupees and to sleep like this for 5 minutes, if you sleep like this for 5 minutes, I will give you 100,000 rupees. I will never sleep like this. Without t-shirt and under such speedy fan. This is how Sri Gurudev lived. And Gurudev's last few years in Miami, his room was, this warmness is nothing. You will say, what was there? In summer, in his room heater. The temperature was 40 plus. I think. Sudhanandi might. Anybody would go and it was like sauna. You'll come back completely drenched. Anybody who went darshan or meeting with Gurudev, that's how he lived. So Gurudev lived the ashram life, no money for dal. Potato was a delicacy once in a week. Gurudev lived. And I heard today we had 10 items. 10 items, I thought, oh God. It is sattvic or rajasic or tamasic. Anyhow, let us think of Sri Gurudev. Let us close our eyes. With deep love, let us think of Sri Gurudev and all the masters in our beautiful lineage. On this special day, let us think of Sage Vyasadeva and his mothers, Mother Satyavati and Sage Parasara. Let us pray to all of them to bless each one of us with right understanding, firm determination, deep love and devotion, and desire to do sadhana, to see our own mistake very carefully and strictly, and not to see the fault of others. to be loving and forgiving for everybody, but not to forgive ourselves. We should be strict to ourselves. You all came to live in the Gurudev's ashram for 3 days. You will go back to your home. Go with the message of the teachings of Sri Gurudev to practice continuously and not to waste time and not to miss the opportunity. Praying to God and Gurudev to bless each one of us and the entire creation. Let us chant Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu. Ma Kasyet Dukha Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow to God, I bow to all the divine incarnations, I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to beloved Gurudev, I bow to all of you and the entire creation. I pray for all of you, pray for the entire creation. Om. Amen. Thank you all.